My thesis project was about 3 short stories by Dorothy Johnson, and she wrote these Western stories in the 50s. And then around the 60s, they were adapted into films by men. She wasn't in that process, but I did want to see the difference between the two and that gender dynamic of Dorothy writing them from a female perspective, and then seeing how these men adapted them into their movies. But it is very rare, even today, to have a female point of view in such a masculine genre that the Western is, of the cowboy, and he's by himself in like the rugged landscape. And to have a woman go through that lens, it is different, and because of that, I knew I wanted to look at her work specifically. Being a small little cowgirl and just loving horses and cows and like watching Westerns with my grandpa. And so that love for that festered into making this thesis project. So I came to the Harrison Research Center for my materials because Dorothy Johnson she's a known author, but she's mostly in Montana where she's from. And there's not many books about her on Amazon or anything. And so I realized Special Collections did probably have a special book about this woman. So I did search and find that they did have an autobiography on her from the 1980s. It was pretty dated, like the pages were yellowed and whatnot. I had to be careful when I was reading it. I also basically lived on the 4th floor of the library, which is in the very back corner is the Western section. And I was there a lot of the time roaming through the shelves, seeing what else there was. And so that's what I also used for a lot of my other sources. But I also watched the DVD versions of the film adaptations. I definitely came to appreciate the view of the library in the sense of the unlimited books that, like there's 4 floors of the library, and the fact that the Western section is on the very 4th floor by itself. It's very cool to have that intimate experience of a specialty, and for mine it's Western.